The fire service medic has handed over to the air ambulance paramedic now, and as you can see, the casualties coming up on the longboard in line, which is all very important, will then be placed onto the ground and will be transferred into the emergency stretcher, which is designed for the air ambulance. The casualty is now being simulated by the dummy and will be taken towards the aircraft now.
And of note, we're very grateful to Devon Air Ambulance Trust for allowing us to use this brand new aircraft, which is being custom built at Oxford by ECUK. And she's going on a tour of Devon throughout August. And if any of you actually live or visit Devon, please go along and support them. They'll be doing some fundraising events. And she'll finally go into service on the 1st of September.
As we can see now, the officer in charge will continue at the scene to make sure that the scene is safe, ensure that any other casualties that would have been in the vehicle are rescued, and then ensure that the equipment is ready for redeployment.
Now you can see here they're loading the casualty in through the side door. They've got a specialist air ambulance fit. However, the 135s and the 145s do have clamshell doors at the rear, so you could load them through the back as well, which adds to the flexibility of the machine. Now the fire service crews are clearing away from the aircraft to allow the Devon Air Ambulance aircraft to take off and head off towards one of the new major trauma centres for some world-class treatment. On average, every day, air ambulances fly 70 missions to critically ill patients across the UK. So that's over 25,000 air ambulances.
And if that's not enough, you can stay on even a little bit later if you wish and enjoy the rest of the show. The activities will remain open until 7 o'clock this evening. Why join the car park on your way home? Just chill out here. But let's now focus back on the runway as the A400 rolls away.
Yes, sir.
Quite a bit today about capabilities that the UK's armed forces are getting. George mentioned earlier the Augusta Westland Wildcat now entering service with the Royal Navy and the Army Air Corps. The RAF, of course, is receiving still more Eurofighter Typhoons and the new Airbus Voyager tanker transport. And this, the Airbus military A400M, will be known as Atlas in RAF service following a naming ceremony that was held here at RIAT last year. And it's another example of these new types that are soon to be coming into service. The RAF is going to be getting 22 A400M Atlas aircraft, and the first delivery should happen in September 2014. Of course, they're all going to be based at Bryce Norton in Oxfordshire. This is the number 5 pre-production aircraft. There's been an extensive test and qualification period with these aeroplanes. Grizzly 5 as it's known. Airbus Military still uses the Grizzly nickname for this aircraft. It was quite a long time in coming in some ways, the A400M, but it's very much here now. Maiden flight occurred in December 2009, and as an airlifter it promises to be really outstanding. The first delivery of a production aircraft to the French Air Force is due imminently. Initial production aircraft has already been busy. It took French President François Hollande to the Paris Air Show, and last Sunday it appeared in the Bastille Day flypast. Since January, crews from France and Turkey, the first two nations who are going to be operating A400Ms, have been in training at Airbus military facilities, and the French intend to get an initial operational capability with their A400Ms early next year. Germany will become the third operating nation in early 2014. Of course, it's a multinational program, as with any Airbus. The major assemblies are flown to a final assembly plant in Seville aboard the big A300 Beluga special freighters. The British contribution to that production effort, the outer wing box and the flaps, which are built at the Airbus plant at Filton in Bristol. Flying past slowly here, an excellent demonstration of its characteristics at this low speeds, and then pulling up very slowly into a wing over. The A400M can refuel helicopter helicopters. The RIAT won't be using that capability, but several of the other operating nations will. And this aircraft is big enough also to carry helicopters. Loads it'll be able to take, it could include, for example, a Cougar or Super Puma in the hold. It can take an NH-90 in the cargo hold. We saw the fins demonstrating that earlier. It could accommodate 2 Lynx, 2 Apaches or 2 Eurocopter Tigers. Apart from this being a new aircraft, it's also got new engines, 4 Europrop International TP400 D6s. Displaying the aircraft for us today, an Anglo-German crew, the British part, Tony Flynn, the German part, Karl-Heinz or Charlie Mai. We saw the aircraft descending pretty steeply there, a pushover to minus 40 degrees, but now the A400M is going to be building up speed for the next pass between 250 and 280 knots at 500 feet, and after this high-speed run, Charlie and Tony are going to pull the aircraft up to a pitch angle of about 45 to 50 degrees nose up, and at the top going into a wing over at about 3,500 feet, and they'll be banking over to 120 degrees at the maximum angle of bank for this aeroplane. Very impressive for such a big aircraft. Very effortless indeed. We've seen the Airbus military chief test pilot Ed Strongman display this aircraft at quite a few of the major international aerospace exhibitions and major shows, including this one. He says the aircraft is great fun to fly. It certainly looks like it. The test fleet of aircraft have amassed 5,300 hours of flight testing, Ed Strongman told me the other day. It's still a busy process, even though operational service is fast approaching. They are going to be putting the wheels down now and doing a low go around, not landing this time because they do, as we've mentioned, have another duty in the flying program today to perform, involving a certain Royal Air Force aerobatic team taxiing out now. So, flying past us for the last time for the moment, Charlie Mai and Tony Flynn with the Airbus military A400M Atlas. They'll be back shortly. Meanwhile, the red arrows taxiing down to the runway 09 to our left, but to our right we have the second of today's items from the French Air Force. We've spoken about the French Air Force receiving the first production A400M. They're still receiving more Dassault Rafales, and George is just going to... Yes,